Happy Sunday. How can you create a curriculum as a new teacher? Perhaps your new job requires you to come up with a curriculum and you are stressed and suffering from anxiety as a result of you not being able to come up with a curriculum. Well, worry not, because as long as you follow this simple guide, you will be able to come up with a curriculum that works for you and your school. Keep watching to learn more. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is NDANGOH'S Diary, and the topic for today is how to create a curriculum as a new teacher. Here are 5 steps that you should follow in order to come up with a curriculum that works for you and your employer. Step number 1, you have to measure the English proficiency level of your students. To do so, you may want to talk to former colleagues. Maybe you're taking over from somebody who is leaving the school. Make sure you get in touch with this person to find out how good your students are as far as the language is concerned. In a case where you can't get in touch with a former colleague, maybe it's good for you to talk with your school coordinators or the Thai staff to find out if your students are actually good as far as English is concerned. Knowing the level of your students will help you to come up with a curriculum that is in line with their abilities. You wouldn't want to make a mistake by spending time to create a curriculum that is way above the level of your students. So please measure the proficiency level of your students. The next tip you have to follow in order to come up with a good curriculum is for you to plan on the topics that you intend to teach. Let us assume that you are teaching English conversation and you need to come up with a topic. For you to do so, you shouldn't just like sit and think out of the blues, like to come up with topics that you think works best. No, there is always a guide. Look at your school's national curriculum. In this case, since we're in Thailand, you may want to ask for the Thai national curriculum as far as English language is concerned. Use the national curriculum as a guide to come up with topics. Every school has a curriculum from the Ministry of Education right down from Bangkok, so make sure you ask for this document. It will guide you to come up with topics that will work best, that is in line with the objectives set by the Ministry of Higher Education. Okay, so we are assuming that you've follow the first 2 tips. You measure the proficiency level of your student, and you have the national curriculum guide with you, and you are about coming up with your topic. Once you've done that, the next thing you have to do is to plan on how to test your students. That is very important, which is tip number 3. Come up with assessment strategy. You have to understand that assessment is not only limited to tests. No, there are other ways in which you can assess your student besides tests. You can give a project, a mini project that they have to do, and you grade them based on this project. You can equally give a reading task. There are other ways that you can implement to assess your students. Perhaps you want to assess them based on the work as far as each unit is concerned, or extra work like homework that you've given them across the term or across the school year. You need to decide. And you also need to decide on the spontaneity of assessment. Do you intend to test the students at the end of each unit, or you want to do it at the end of the term or at the end of the course work? You need to decide on this before moving on to your lesson planning, which is tips number 4. Planning your lesson. You have weighed the English proficiency level of your students. You have the national curriculum guideline, which helps you to come up with a topic. You have decided on how to assess your student. The last thing you have to do is to come up with your lesson plan. Remember, your lesson plan is quite different from your curriculum. In fact, your lesson plan clearly states what topic you intend to teach in each class. So this is quite different. When planning your lesson, you have to follow the objective of the curriculum, those topics that you've selected based on the national curriculum handbook that you got from your school. Make sure each lesson follow an objective. An objective here, lesson objective simply refers to what you intend to teach in your class. So state it out and make sure you build your lesson in line with this objective. What you have to bear in mind is that you shouldn't rush to teach challenges topics or difficult topics. No, start with simple topics. This will help to lay the foundation of the course to your student, because your overall objective is for your students to understand the course, and for them to understand they should at least know the basic of that course. Therefore, start with easier topics that are easy to digest and comprehend. This will not only help to motivate the students, but it will give them extra courage and incentive to continue with the course and even deal with harder topics when you are teaching such units. I hope these few tips helps you to plan a curriculum that works for you and your school. And you have to remember that a curriculum is quite difficult to come up with. In fact, there is no perfect curriculum. Curriculum takes time. It's a spontaneous process, especially when you're in the same job, because as each year goes by, you have to make changes based on the level of your student. You shouldn't stress out if it's difficult, and you're bound to make mistakes as far as it's your first time teaching. Don't stress, don't worry about this. The fact that you've come up with something will guide you for the first year. As the second year comes by, you'll be able to make the necessary adjustment based on your previous experience and based on the level of the next batch of students that you will be teaching. And to end the topic, I'll urge you to leave a comment in the comment section of this video. Tell me what you like about the channel and what you don't like, what improvement we can make as far as the growth of this channel is concerned. And if you have other topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to leave a comment and I'll happily do that. Until then, see you next time. Bye.